Breaking news, Cowboys Nation. The unthinkable has happened. Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence both down? That's right, folks. Dallas just got hit with a defensive nightmare that could derail their entire season. But hold on, there's a twist. Two rookies might just be the unexpected heroes to save the day. Stick around, because we're diving deep into the injury chaos, the potential defensive collapse, and the young guns who could turn this disaster into an opportunity. Hey there, Cowboys Nation. Welcome to Dallas Cowboys Fan, your ultimate destination for all things America's team. Whether you bleed blue and silver or are just starting to catch Cowboys fever, this is the place. If you are a die-hard fan, please make sure to subscribe for more latest news and updates of your favorite team. We've got some major news coming out of Dallas, and I've got to tell you, it's not looking good for Cowboys fans. We're diving deep into the latest injury updates on two of the team's biggest defensive stars, Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence. But that's not all. We've also got some interesting developments with rookies Mazi and Guyton that you're gonna want to hear about. So buckle up, Cowboys Nation, because we've got a lot to unpack. Let's start with a bombshell that's rocking the football world right now. Micah Parsons, the heart and soul of the Cowboys' defense, is dealing with a significant injury. Sources close to the team have reported that Parsons sustained a high ankle sprain during a recent practice session. Now, for those of you who might not be familiar with the severity of this type of injury, let me break it down for you. A high ankle sprain is no joke. It's a more severe and complex injury than your typical ankle sprain, often requiring a longer recovery time. The timing couldn't be worse for the Cowboys, who are in the thick of a heated playoff race. Parsons has been an absolute force on the field this season, racking up sacks, pressures, and game-changing plays left and right. His versatility and explosive athleticism have made him a nightmare for opposing offenses, and his absence could leave a gaping hole in the Cowboys' defensive scheme. But here's where it gets even more concerning for Dallas fans. It's not just Parsons who's dealing with injury woes. Veteran defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence is also on the injury report, and the news isn't looking great. Lawrence has reportedly been struggling with a nagging back issue that's been hampering his performance in recent weeks. While he's been trying to play through the pain, it's become clear that this isn't just a minor tweak. The Cowboys' medical staff is taking a closer look at Lawrence's condition, and there's a real possibility that he might need to miss some significant time to properly heal. This is a huge blow to a defense that relies heavily on Lawrence's leadership and his ability to set the edge against the run while also providing a consistent pass-rushing threat. Now, I know what you're thinking. How are the Cowboys going to cope with potentially losing both Parsons and Lawrence? It's a valid question, and one that's undoubtedly keeping defensive coordinator Dan Quinn up at night. The loss of these two Pro Bowlers would be devastating to any team, but it's particularly troubling for a Cowboy squad that's built its identity around a dominant defense. But it's not all doom and gloom in Dallas. This situation could present an opportunity for some of the younger players on the roster to step up and make their mark. And that brings us to the next part of our story, rookies Mazi and Guyton. Let's start with Mazi, the Cowboys' first-round pick out of Michigan. Smith has been slowly but surely finding his footing in the NFL, and with these injuries to key defensive players, he might be thrust into a larger role sooner than expected. Smith's incredible strength and ability to eat up blocks could be crucial in helping to shore up the run defense in Lawrence's absence. The coaching staff has been impressed with Smith's work ethic and his rapid improvement since training camp. He's been putting in extra hours in the film room and on the practice field, and that dedication might pay off in a big way if he's called upon to play more snaps. Keep an eye on number 58. He could be a key factor in how well the Cowboys weather this injury storm. Now, let's shift our focus to the offensive side of the ball and talk about Guyton. The rookie offensive tackle out of Oklahoma has been a pleasant surprise for the Cowboys this season. While he wasn't expected to see much playing time in his first year, Guyton has shown flashes of potential that have the coaching staff excited about his future. With the defensive injuries potentially putting more pressure on the offense to perform, Guyton's development becomes even more critical. The Cowboys might need to lean more heavily on their passing game to compensate for any defensive shortcomings, and that means providing top-notch protection for quarterback Dak Prescott. Guyton has been working closely with the veteran lineman, soaking up knowledge and refining his technique. His athleticism and quick feet have drawn comparisons to some of the league's top tackles, and he's shown a knack for picking up complex blocking schemes quickly. If he can continue to progress at this rate, he could provide a significant boost to the Cowboys' offensive line depth. But let's circle back to the elephant in the room. How will the Cowboys cope if they're without both Parsons and Lawrence for an extended period? It's a scenario that no one in Dallas wants to contemplate, but it's one that the team needs to be prepared for. The first and most obvious impact will be on the pass rush. Parsons and Lawrence have combined for a significant portion of the team's sacks and quarterback pressures this season. Their ability to disrupt opposing offenses has been a key factor in the Cowboys' defensive success. Without them, the team will need to get creative with their blitz packages and rely more heavily on secondary players to generate pressure. This could mean increased playing time for players like Dorrance Armstrong and Sam Williams, who have shown flashes of pass rushing ability but haven't had consistent opportunities. It could also lead to more exotic defensive schemes, with Dan Quinn potentially dialing up more blitzes from linebackers and defensive backs to compensate for the loss of his top edge rusher. The run defense could also take a hit, particularly without Lawrence setting the edge. This is where players like the aforementioned Mazi Smith could really make their mark. The Cowboys might need to rely more on their defensive tackle rotation to eat up blocks and allow the linebackers to flow to the ball. On the offensive side, the potential absence of these defensive stars puts added pressure on Dak Prescott and the offense to put up points. We could see a shift in offensive strategy, with the Cowboys possibly moving towards a more aggressive, pass-heavy approach to try and build leads and force opponents to abandon the run game. This situation also puts a spotlight on the Cowboys' depth and their player development programs. It's often said that championship teams are built not just on star power, but on quality depth throughout the roster. This could be a defining moment for some of the Cowboys' role players and backups to step up and prove their worth. As we wrap up this video, I want to emphasize that while this news is certainly concerning for Cowboys fans, it's important to remember that the season is far from over. Great teams find ways to overcome adversity, and this is an opportunity for the Cowboys to show what they're made of. The next few weeks will be crucial. How will the team adjust its game plans? Who will step up to fill the void left by Parsons and Lawrence? Can rookies like Mazi Smith and Tyler Guyton rise to the occasion and make significant contributions? These are the questions that will define the Cowboys' season moving forward. One thing's for sure, the NFC East race just got a whole lot more interesting. The Eagles and Giants will surely be looking to capitalize on the Cowboys' misfortune, so Dallas will need to dig deep and find a way to stay competitive despite these setbacks.